welcome back. You are with Weekend Dialogue. Today on the show we have with us Mr. Bin Lam, who is the CEO of Pacific Textiles. Welcome to the show, Mr. Lam.
Thank you.
Right. Now we know you have been operating in Sri Lanka, your company operating in Sri Lanka for a while. How do you look at our business environment?
Actually, Sri Lanka's textile industry has evolved for like 30 years.
Yeah.
I came to Sri Lanka in 1982, and there were no textile industry at that time. And I've been seeing it from the very beginning. And as of today, I think the textile industry is pretty mature now, particularly in the knit sector, which TJ is in. It has been competing particularly with China and Vietnam, and are not losing the battle due to various geographic reasons.
Right, it means you know about the global trends as well. So how are those going to affect our local industries?
Well, the global trend, it's not looking too favorably because the consumption pattern, the young guys' consumption pattern, when they get their paycheck, what do they buy? They used to buy clothing, fashionable. Today, they don't buy clothing. They buy this. See how fast the iPhone 7 has gone. So we are seeing a slight shift in consumer buying pattern. The apparel industry, of course, apparel is one of the basic needs of human being. And it will be there. But we are seeing pretty slow growth in the last 5-10 years.
Then what are the options you have since the global trends are not in favor of you?
Well, like I said, clothing is a basic need. It will be always there. When I joined this industry 40 years ago, I graduated from college in 1975, and I joined textile industry. My friends were telling me, Bill, why are you joining the sunset industry? That's what we call the textile industry in Hong Kong, sunset industry. 40 years has gone by. The sun has not set yet. It's hanging out there. So textile is a basic need for human race. It's got to be always there. But the problem is how to compete within the industry and winning market share.
Mr. Lam, we all know that the Sri Lankan export sector is at a stress, right? We are struggling. With your experience, what can you tell to our policy makers? What should be the path for revival?
I think today, world trade is very much affected by tariff. To gain free access to major market is the key. Like Central America, they have NAFTA, North American Free Trade Agreement. Vietnam, Cambodia, Japan is talking about TPP.
Yeah. And Sri Lanka is planning to have a FTA with China.
Yes, but China is not the ultimate consuming country. Where the West and Japan and Europe is the ultimate consumption country. So the government should establish a better relationship with those countries and get free access for Sri Lankan textile products to those.
Then in few months' time, Sri Lanka will most probably get GSP Plus from EU. Mm-hmm. How it would affect our industry?
Well, GSP was in Sri Lanka before. They lose it, they're getting it back. So it's a piece of good news, but it's getting back where we were, not getting new ground. So what I mean, the government should get new ground. They should maybe talk to the US government or even the Japanese government to get more favorable trade terms with those countries.
Then I would like to ask you some questions about your company, TJ, how it is performing in Sri Lanka.
How TJ is performing? I think TJ is performing quite well, particularly when TJ acquire Ocean India and Quinby. So we are seeing a major synergy happening within the company, with efficiency improving, with geographic diversification, with unit costs coming down because of the consolidation. So it all reflected in the financials. You can tell from the financials.
Yeah. What are your future plans in Sri Lanka?
The company's future plan, of course, TJ want to be I think it's already the largest knit manufacturer in South Asia. And we are planning to grow more both in Sri Lanka and in India. India is a huge market. If you can penetrate into the domestic market, it will be, the sky is the limit. You know how many people are there in India? It's like what China company or Hong Kong company trying to do, penetrate the Chinese domestic market. Right. You can gain ground on that market, then you don't have to worry too much about how the US or the Europe is doing. But it will be a long road.
Yeah, Mr. Lam, then you said that you have had links with Sri Lanka for years, right? You must have both good and bad experiences with our officials when it comes to investment approvals. Do you see any changes right now?
Overall, my feeling about Sri Lankan officials is quite positive. So far, of course, we encounter some hiccup in investment proposals, but eventually we have it resolved. I would not say it's more smoother than what we did in China. Of course, in China, we speak language, we know the people, we are close neighbors, and China was hungry for investment at that time. But after all, I think Sri Lanka it's doing okay because we have also investment in Vietnam, and compared with Vietnam, Sri Lankan the officials is a little bit more friendly, I would say.
Right. Thank you, Mr. Lam, for your time.
Thank you.